Hey, how's it going? This is Max and it's great to have you here for another UX related online course. This time I want to talk about a topic that goes more into the psychological area of UX things, and that is how to emotionally attach your users through UX or through user experience. And this is an extremely fascinating topic as it helps you, once you understood the principles, to not only make better digital products, but ultimately longer lasting relationships between your products and your customers or users. Better relationships mean a more successful product, and this is most of the time what we aim for in order to fulfill our KPIs, make our stakeholders happy, or to earn more money. Especially nowadays, where there are so many great products, so many talented designers, and such an overwhelmingly number of great and creative apps. I constantly ask myself, how can I stand out from the crowd? In the past, I found myself being emotionally connected to exceptional products, or were they exceptional because of the emotions they conveyed? Just a few words about me and why I know about this stuff. I'm currently working full-time as a senior UX designer and researcher in Germany. I've been privileged to work for a vast variety of brands and companies and learned a lot about how to craft experiences for users from all of these different industries, be it automotive, finance, IT, healthcare, or almost anything else really. I learned how important it is to dig deeper into the topic of UX design, beyond the interface and even beyond the research and into the mind of the users, so that I was able to set up a plan for myself to actually make sure the users get the most out of the product for themselves and to bring them into a state of bonding to the product that enables for a deep and long-lasting relationship. In my course, which is based on scientific research, you will get a list of key takeaways to tick for all of your products so that you can make sure to apply these learnings and make the most for yourself out of the product. In order to understand how we can emotionally attach our users to our product, we need to understand the concept of emotions itself. And this already can be quite tricky. But still, we all probably have a clear idea in mind when we think about the question, which is also the title of this chapter, what is emotion? You're probably thinking something like happiness or sadness, but now what really is this and what does it mean? How do these emotions build up and how to trigger this? The bad news is that scientists are not entirely sure what a good definition of emotion really is. There's a lot of scientific research happening, obviously at all the psychological faculties around the world, about this cocktail of hormones that is cooking up inside all of us, but it's safe to say that humans either consciously or subconsciously react to certain impressions. These reactions have a strong potential to vary in their intensity and quality. This means that the reactions can, for example, be strong or weak, long-lasting or short, or positive or negative. This then results in the type of emotions that we know or that we are familiar with. And there's another great thing about it that I found in a lecture manuscript of Professor Dr. Funke from a German university, which is unfortunately in German for all of you who don't speak German. I'll add a link somewhere below to that PDF. And he says that these reactions are directed towards objects for most of the times. This means that we all react emotionally towards objects more often than we do towards humans or other non-object things, as for example animals. And this can also be applied to us as digital product designers. But of course, this is valid for all physical objects as well. To get a better understanding in regards to the different reactions and emotions that can be triggered, I was searching for a good visual representation of the emotional spectrum that is currently known. And what I found is an interesting visualization called the Wheel of Emotion, created by Robert Plutchik. And now, if we take a look at this graphic, we can see this sort of flower or star-shaped colorful circle. And what Robert Plutchik did was color coding the different emotional branches so that it becomes clear which emotions belong together and arise from each other. So in the middle we see the most basic types of emotional reactions: admiration, terror, amazement, grief, loathing, rage, vigilance, and ecstasy. Then we can follow each of these streams to the outside of the circle to see different steps of evolvement for these basic reactions. For example, here at ecstasy we have joy as the next step, and then serenity as the second step. And there's another interesting information in this graphic. And these are the intermediate phases between the different core streams. So just as an example, between the streams of loathing here at the bottom and grief with their deviations of disgust, boredom, sadness and pensiveness, we see the kind of transitional stage which is called remorse. So now we have a tool to understand and locate the human emotional spectrum. For our purposes, we want to focus on two of these main emotional streams. The first one being ecstasy, which contains joy and serenity. The second one to be admiration, containing trust and acceptance. Between these branches, there is the space that Robert Plotchik calls love. We need to address these emotions when we want to build a strong and lasting connection to our users. Alright, I leave you with that for now. Before you continue to the next lesson, I suggest you take a real good look at the wheel of emotion. And then I'll be talking about the social aspects of a product and how that plays a big psychological role as well. Now that we understood how emotions work and where they roughly come from, we need to take another look at the psychological side of things when talking about users and their products. And that is the social factors that play a major role in consuming and purchasing patterns. This means that we all influence each other by using or buying products. This can be done more or less consciously or subconsciously, but it will always have an impact on the people we surround us with. Just as an example, we can have a look at so-called millennials or Generation Y, which, in case you don't know what it is, simply means the demographic cohort of people in the Western world who were born between 1981 and 96. This generation that grew up using digital tools is now an economically very relevant group of people, and they really like to buy stuff. Again, I will provide you with an article about this topic. This and the high share of so-called innovators and early adopters within this group indicates that there is currently, and not only since today, but really since a couple of years, an extremely strong potential for things like addictions to product-related behaviors. So that's actually a real problem that developed over the years. Besides being addicted to owning these products, they also tend to be very well informed about the product landscape and are able to display their knowledge to other people. So our conclusion for this very quick scraping on the surface of sociology could be that the impact we're trying to achieve expands much broader than we think it would. That now still is a pretty good time to sell digital products, and that we need to be careful about the negative side effects that come with consumption in general. We now discussed a lot of topics and shades of UX or product design that are strongly related to psychology and the underlying emotional processes inside human brains. And for me, it is really refreshing to get away from the UI side of things for once and to consider these aspects, which play such a big role for our users and for us as product creators as well. When we think about the emotions of our users and the social aspects, then what does that mean for our definition of UX, the user experience? I constantly see these UI versus UX memes on social, or what is UX, and to be honest, they oftentimes are so oversimplified and wrong that they become really annoying and embarrassing. Because really, the user experience is the ultimate combination of everything that is connected to a product. This also includes the experience of the users when they only look at a product, maybe even on YouTube or in an ad. And feeling or experiencing emotions also is an experience of a user or a potential user. And let me tell you a little story to show just how strong the bond between a human and a product can be. This was really quite emotional for me. I got this drone as a way too expensive Christmas present, and I put so much energy and time into the preparation. Like, I watched hours worth of video tutorials and reviews, read articles, and made sure I was ready to go as soon as I had it in my hands. I was seriously stoked about this product, and when I finally got it on Christmas Eve, that's when we exchanged presents here in Germany, I felt like a child, and I almost fell in love with it. It was so cool to unpack it, and I literally spent time every night just looking at it. The amount of joy I had was almost indescribable. And this whole story took an unexpected turn when I lost the drone during one of my very first flights. It was really weird and obviously caused by my lacking experience, but that didn't make it less dramatic. I was devastated, and for me it was like my pet went missing, even if it in fact only was a piece of plastic with some chips and wires in it. I was incredibly lucky to get it back just after one sleepless night and about 100 flyers that I spread around the neighborhood. The emotions connected to this product can clearly be located on the wheel of emotion, exactly where they should be from a marketing perspective. I built up a strong psychological relation to this drone, comparable to a living being. You want to care for it, you want to equip it with nice other things, and you want to spend time with it. But now let's try to pull all these pieces together, all right? Let's see why at the end the experience still is the most important factor of a product. Psychologists and philosophers like to say that perception is reality. This means that individual impressions are able to manifest individual realities. For example, you might enjoy the redesign of Facebook and someone else might really hate it. For both of you, your perception formed by the impressions of seeing the new design of Facebook is your very reality, and both realities are true and both are different. I would like to rephrase this to experience is reality. We as product creators are shaping the realities of our customers through the experiences that we create. We have an immediate impact on people's lives, but we'll never know every context our products will live within. Consider these 4 key takeaways to create emotionally meaningful experiences that enhance the lives of your customers. In German we have a saying that goes, Vorfreude ist die schönste Freude, and this translates to anticipation is the greatest of joys. And it's absolutely true. Try to serve your future users even before they can use your product with delightful content. Think of video trailers, or even more effectively with influencer and magazine review videos. Or think about written reports throughout target group relevant channels. Whether it's a physical product and we're talking about the unpacking experience, or it's a digital product and we're talking about onboarding processes or installations or registrations, it has to be great from the start off. Be impressive and pleasing. Use valuable material and showcase the product when it's being taken out of its box. Also be humble and humorous and make it as easy as possible to get started using your product. Always keep in mind to activate ecstasy and admiration in order to build up a firm and positive bond to your users. Addressing these emotions and their subs, joy, serenity, trust and acceptance will make sure the users will associate positive feelings with your product. We are creating realities with our products. We take immediate actions on top people's lives, and our products will live within our users' individual contexts. Take care of the possibilities you get from this and the responsibilities we all carry. The foundation is laid during the first phases of usage, oftentimes even before the user actually owns the product. I want to thank you for participating at this class. And if you like this course, it would mean a lot if you recommended it to people who could also benefit from it. And I would love to hear your opinion as a review of this course. Anyways, I hope to see you in one of my other courses as well. Have a great day and see you soon. Goodbye.